In 2009, I opened a Twitter account, and I didn't know what to put in bio, and I put 90% therapist, 10% photographer. I knew back then that what I did was not this. I was not creating a business based on my technical ability with a camera, although I think technically everything looks great. It's great. But it really is the rapport between me and my subject. And I did this job for Microsoft where I shot like 80 people. And they had a psychologist that was working with them at the time. And I ended up photographing her, Dr. Anna Rowley, and we became friends. And then we started this thing. She's like, we got to work together. We got to do something together. The research that I do with people in front of my camera and what she does, we found that one of four things happen when you're in front of a camera. We either own it, pose, diminish, or we avoid. All right. I knew diminishing all too well because I was a model. And if you put me in front of the camera, I changed. And I was not good. There's a misconception that models know what they're doing. I had no clue what I was doing in front of the camera. I've had numerous photographers, and I looked at my pictures, and whenever I was uncomfortable with the photographer, the pictures were terrible. That's a misconception that models know what they're doing. No, you are working with a model, you have to give them stuff to do. I didn't have anything to do, and I was a diminisher. So even though I was getting paid for the way I look, I wasn't good in front of a camera unless the photographer brought it out of me. And that's 60% of the population, guys. From my research, 60% diminish. All right? 7% own it. 7% of the people that get in front of your camera are going to be amazing. That's what I found. It's low, but they are there. You know these people. They get in front of your camera and they're amazing. You point the camera at them and they just look at you. What do you want me to do? And you're like, just that. And every time you shoot, they light up, they change, they move, they do things for you that you don't have to ask them anything. Some models can pull this off, and some people can pull it off if they just are having fun and they're comfortable in front of cameras and they'll just do it. These are the people that go in your portfolio. They're the ones that make you look better. They're the ones that you allow them to run and do their thing. When I get somebody who does really well in front of camera, I'm just pressing the button, right? And it's rare. Like, they really have to be able to play, and it's about 7% of the time, and it's amazing. And you don't want to get in their way with too much direction. You want to sprinkle it in. I was shooting Sofia Vergara, and she came in, and again, I'm shooting a celebrity. I want to connect with the celebrity. I want to direct the person. I want to get good shots out of the person. I'm got a little boost of adrenaline because I get to shoot this celebrity. She comes in, she's amazing. Every picture I took was unbelievable. I mean, it was like boom, boom, boom. I was like, what do I say to her? I was like, all right. I remember being on the shoot and being concerned about how I was directing her. I'm like, why should I be concerned about how I'm directing her? The shots look amazing. I'm getting it done. And I was doing subtle direction. At the end of the shoot, I was like, all right, we got everything we want. Just do me a favor. Just act like you're punching the camera. And she went like this and punched the camera. And it's hanging up in the room right over there. And I was like, I got that one. All right, cool. So sometimes you just have to hold back. The people that own it, they're going to be amazing. Your job is to build them up this scale. So that own it, pose, diminish, avoid. Let's go on to posing. It's about 15%, right? It's people get in there and turn something on that's not natural. Models do it. Usually they can do it well and they can fake it and it can look good. I'll give you an example. When I modeled, I was the commercial all-American guy. That's where they pegged me. I never walked down any runway in my life. I'd probably stumble and fall anyway, but like, I'm not going to do the runway shows, like do Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana or anything like that. I did Polo, Abercrombie & Fitch, I did American Express, I did Wrangler, I did Hanes, I did all this commercial stuff. And I would get all this commercial work. So my agent said to me one day, she goes, I don't understand it. She goes, I send you out on jobs, and specifically jobs where they're asking for models who can really smile the whole time. They want really energetic models, and they want the smiling people. And she goes, you and this other guy always book it. That you're the two people that always book it. She's like, what do you do when you go into these castings? And I was like, well, I don't really, I know how to pose smile, but I kind of fake laugh. Like, I don't pose smiley, I fake it. She's like, what? Well, when I go in there, most of the models, I watch them in the casting and their pictures being taken, they're like this. And they do this kind of thing. And I'm like, I just think that looks cheesy if they're just like bubbly and holding a smile. So I just act like I'm cracking up and I go, and see, it makes you really laugh. That's so crazy. And she's like, and that's what I said every time. That's how I book it. And I booked it all the time. Sometimes posing for models can work, but a lot of times it becomes very fake. So you have to watch out for it. Now, I like to call it positioning. I'm positioning people like crazy. I don't like the word pose because it seems so rigid, but it's what we have to do to get them to own it eventually. You're building them up this scale. So obviously, if I'm telling something specific for somebody to do with their face or their body, it is posing them or positioning them. I like to call it loose positioning, because whatever position they're in, I want them to make sure that they know there is no perfect position. Chill out right there so that you're not like, this is where he wants me right here. This is where I need to be. I got to stay right here until he takes the picture. No, it's like, this is kind of where I want you. Just chill out right there. It's fine. The avoiders. This is a tough one. So these are the people, they don't want to be within a mile square radius of a camera. Like, they don't want to be anywhere near that sucker, right? But their boss said, hey, you got to be on the website. You got to go get your headshot taken, right? Guess what? Then they're coming my direction. These people have what I consider PAS, picture avoidance syndrome. And it's rampant in our society. And I bet you, how many of you have it? That's why you're behind the camera. I know the joke. You don't have to tell me. So PASers are avoiders. They want to get out of there, right? So all they want to do is run. They want to avoid. Your job is to get them to hang tight and build them up the scale. So you're going to get them from avoidant behavior to, this isn't that bad, but I'm still freaked out, diminishing behavior, to, okay, can you move this way, move that? Are you up for moving this way, that way, to posing behavior, to eventually making them forget about the camera, having fun, being playful, teaming up with them, and getting to own it. That's what we're doing. So that's the 4 things that happen in front of a camera. And if you want to go even deeper, they happen in life as well, because that's pretty much the same way people take on these different a challenge in life. People take them on the same exact way. So you can see through them that way. If you have a challenge in your life, people own it, they pose, they diminish, or they avoid. I love my wife's smile. Like, my wife's real smile, I'm crazy for it. And I don't know if you've shot a spouse or have a spouse that you try to photograph, or a significant other. It's not easy. So for me to get her real smile is tough. But when she shoots with other, she was a model, she still models a little bit here and there. And when she shoots with other photographers and they capture a real smile, I'm like melting over it, because it's what I see. I love it. That's what you want to capture for people. You want their significant others and their family members and those people to be like, that's you, that's so you, that's you right there. That's what you want. That's what you're going for. And you got to pull it out. And you got to pull it out through getting them to be them, which means running them up this scale. They're not going to be them if they're avoidant. They're not going to be them if they're diminished. They're really not going to be them if they're posed. If they're owning it, they're going to be them. So let's talk about how to get somebody to behave like themselves. This is the trick. It's not easy, but it's fun. I want you to think about your shtick. So what is a shtick? It's a comic routine, a gimmick, it's a routine. It's a way you do things. You have a current shtick. My goal for you is to build this shtick, and it's based on direction. So I want you to think about how you behave when you're behind your camera and somebody's in front of it right now. right? Let's say you're doing a photo shoot and you're in your studio or you're whatever, you're in a room and there's one other human being there and you're photographing them. What's the first thing you're gonna say to them? What's the next thing you're gonna say to them? How are you gonna, light them, or how are you gonna talk to them about what you're doing? How are you gonna, any behavior that you have towards them is your shtick. That's your current shtick. You gotta build that up so that you feel confident no matter who's in front of your camera and no matter how many people and whatever's going on. So this is the key of getting that person to be on your same page, teaming up with them, getting them to chill out to get the results that you need. So, over the years, photographers have found when they have to direct somebody, they all have their own certain way of doing it. Now, there are some standard ways of doing it, which I'm not a fan of, like saying cheese and saying smile and going 1, 2, 3. All of that is crap for me. That's not the way we go if we're pros. As a pro, you got to figure it out for yourself how you're going to direct people and how you're going to put them in the palm of your hand and create those expressions for yourself. There's a quote from Albert Einstein that kind of conveys this. For me, this is it. I've never made one of my discoveries through the process of rational thought. Albert Einstein. It's amazing. So if you rationally think about how you're going to direct somebody, you're not going to come up with something that's like an epiphany that's just going to work on a continual basis with anybody that you shoot. You've got to come up with something that's your own. It's yours. You own it. It's very distinct for you. Unfortunately, I modeled for 8 years. For 5 of those years, I paid no attention to what the photographers were doing with me. I didn't know I was going to be a photographer. I was modeling. I was minding my own business. I probably finished shooting and I went to go sleep on the side. I went to go twiddle my thumbs. I don't know what I was doing back then. Instead of paying attention to what was going on with the photographer. When I decided to become a photographer, then I was like hyper focused on everything that they did and interested in everything, and I became the most annoying model on the set, and my modeling career went straight down the tubes because all I would do is ask them these annoying questions. And then when I wasn't on set anymore, I didn't get to ask those questions. So what do? You did the same thing that I did, the same thing that you guys did. I went online and I looked at YouTube, I looked at videos of photographers trying to see what they did. And I would always be interested in the lighting, but I cranked the volume up to hear what the photographer's saying to their subject. It's really about that. What are they saying? How did they get them to do that? What was their behavior like to get them to do that? What could I get out of this video of what the photographer is actually doing? That's really all I cared about. I was like, it's got to be something like that. I heard stories over the years. You guys have probably heard these stories about Yusuf Karsh shooting Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill is like the most powerful man in the world at the time. He comes out and Karsh has like a minute, 2 minutes to get this shot done, and he didn't want to shoot him with this cigar in his mouth. He always had the cigar in his mouth. Karsh said, "Can you take the cigar out of your mouth?" He said no, and Karsh went up, yanked the cigar out of his mouth, went back to his camera and pressed the button, and Churchill's got this scowling look on his face, which was perfect during wartime. That took balls on Karsh's part, right? And I think we need balls to come up with something that we're confident in and to do it the way we do it. In the Hurley headshot system, when I position people, when we go through the system, step number 5 is to hit them with some sort of stimulus that gives you a reaction into the camera. My curveball that I throw at them is a misdirection. So I made a web browser based type app, which you can go to at hurleyisms.com, and there's 50 of my favorite one-liners in there that you can use, and you can say them, you can speed them up, you can see them, they're coming in right now. This is the Hurleyisms Pro. You can speed them up, you can slow them down. They come in with numerous on the screen. I'm going to slow it down for myself so I can really take a look at what I want to see here. And I will say them only at step 5. You do not want to lay these on somebody when they're not in the position to be laid on. So only at step 5, and then we'll see what kind of reactions we get out of them. So everything up to the moment that I decide on the line is positioning and composition and all that, and then I'll say the line. So it's a timing-based thing as well. I want you to try them. I want you to do it for yourself. If you want to go to the pro version, there's 1,000 lines in there that you can use. So here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. You ready?
Let's see what we get to do. All right, so stand up real straight. Jam your forehead out. Good. Give me a look like you're standing on your own 2 feet. Chin down. There you go. Good. Now I get 5 shots out of that laughter. Whatever I said was going to go away. I'm going to go pick something that I liked, but I'm going to maneuver the body. I'm going to go back to step 1 in the Hurley headshot system. I just got 5 shots there. I got a laughter. I got her down to serious. I want to try the body one way and the face the other. So let's go 11 to 1. So the body is going to go over here. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Freeze your body. Go nose back this way. No, nose over here. Stay right there. That's perfect. I like that. Just oscillate your hips a bit right there. There you go. Perfect. Chin down a little bit. Good, good. You guys have to be 100% confident with whatever comes out of your mouth or whatever you do when you're behind the camera. So if you open the Hurleyisms app and it says, give me some lateral hip flexion, which is what it says right there, and you feel uncomfortable saying that, I can't remember the last time I said lateral hip flexion. I love that one. But you don't feel comfortable saying that, it's not going to land with the person either. You can't say like, okay, can you try, well, just try giving me maybe some lateral hip flexion? And they're going to maybe go like that, like, and maybe that's going to be a good shot. When people look like they're listening to you, their face generally makes a face that could be interesting. Could be interesting. But you have to be willing to say it. And anything you say, you have to be willing to back out of if it doesn't land. If you feel like that was terrible and I'm starting to... If you took the string and turned it into a thread, you have to know, be aware of it, and backpedal. You have to be like, don't mind me, I'm just having a rough day. Or, I don't know where that came from. I'm just trying stuff to become a better photographer, and that just did not work whatsoever. Immediately they're going to go, oh, they want to help you. They want to help you. They want to be like, oh, at least you're trying. You know, you said something dumb, but you're trying, you know. It just has to land. You have to be confident in whatever you do. And if you're not, you have to act like you are. Like the best direction that's coming down the pike for me, I have no idea what it is. But when my brain says, try this, I'm gonna do it with confidence to see if it works. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm gonna do it with confidence. Now let me show you the key for this. I don't need 50 gazillion shots of Jenny cracking up. I need a few, I like to get them, but her just cracking up just got her face to move. And then it rested to serious. And it moves and it rests to serious. And she's laughing and she even knows what I'm up to. Like if you don't let this cat out of the bag for your people, they won't understand that you're really messing with them if you use the app. They don't know you're looking at the app. Let's try another position. Turn the body this way. And drop your shoulders slightly toward, that's good. Turn the bodies a little bit. Good. I'd like you to look, chin down, forehead out a little bit. I want you to look sneaky. Hold on. She went, no, he looks sneaky, really looks sneaky. No, kind of like you're sneaking up on a water buffalo. Go. Tilt your head this way. Good, there you go. No, don't look like you're in pain. The water buffalo is not a painful thing. Good. That's it. Nose back to me a touch. Good. Give me a look like you're at your wit's end. Good. That's it. Tilt the head this way. Now, guys, I have a gazillion of them in my brain, so I'll just start whipping them out. I'm looking at for our purposes, I'm looking at the screen so you can match up what she does with what the screen is. But I can also, once you get your favorite ones, you'll have them in your brain. I want to push the buttons of the person in front of my camera. I want to push my own buttons every day. If I don't, I'm not living. It's like I've just got to stretch as a photographer. And for me to stretch as a photographer, I've got to discover things and I got to find them out. And the best way that you can discover things is by listening to what's going on in your head. So I walked into a shoot. I've been working out quite a bit. As you can see, I'm in better shape than my other tutorials. I got in shape, getting it done, right? So, I'm working with my trainer, and I had hurt my leg or something. So he gave me some sports cream, right? And I went to the trainer, and now I set up all my shoots after I'm training because I want to stay in shape. I train first, and then I come and I work the rest of the afternoon. And he gave me some sports cream, and I put it all over my leg. And I left, and I got back to the studio, and my assistant was here, and she had met the client that was coming in, and that guy had hung up his clothes. And in my brain, I'm going, something's wrong here. Like this sports cream, this is something's definitely wrong. And I walk in and I meet the guy, and I think I was a little late, and I said to him, hey, sorry I'm late, but I always have my lights set up, so I was ready. He was wearing something cool, or I was like, put that on. I was like, that looks good. And I just jumped in front of the camera, and I was like, I'm just gonna say what's in my brain right now. I just felt like he could handle it. I felt like I never met him before, I never even saw him before, but he looked like a cool guy, and in that thin slice, that 1/20th of a second, I knew I could say this to him and I was going to get a reaction. So I put him in front of my camera, I set it all up, and I said, you know what, I'm sorry I'm late, I just got here, I had to go to my trainer, and I took a shower, and he gave me some sports cream, and it hit my balls, and my balls are on fire right now. And the guy just lost it. He just started cracking. It's the first thing I said to him. And he just started cracking up. And I got like 20 shots of him cracking up. And then I said to him, I'm sorry, it was in my brain. I have no filter. I just said whatever I said. He said, no, he said, all right. I said, I'm fine. Your shoot's going to go fine. I just wanted to make you aware that that's what I'm going through. And he just lost. He just said, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. So I floored my assistant, and the rest of the shoot was cake with him. Now, does that help my shtick? No, I don't come in I don't make up things but I was like, this is the level that I want you to be on to search for new ways of direction. Can I use that again? No. It was weird and crazy. But there was no rational thought behind it. The only way, look, if it was easy and there was rational thought that would say, okay, if I say this person's going to do this and that's going to happen, it would be easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. You have to push your own buttons. Listen to your thoughts. Listen to what's going on. Have no filter. Write stuff down. Figure it out for yourself. Mine is misdirection and Hurleyisms. I do not care what transpires between me and my subject. I care about what's captured on the back of my camera. That's all I care about. Nobody's going to know what I was doing or saying or what kind of behavior was going on unless it's videoed, and then I don't even care. At the moment that thing was shot. That's the other thing I convey to my clients. They're like, but I feel so weird. Who cares? Nobody's going to know how you felt. They're going to know how you look. I want you on this path of discovery for yourself in your direction and how you're going to direct. I want you to be a better director in a year than you are today. In 2 years, better than that. In 3 years, better than that. You're not going to put the camera down. Nobody watching this puts the camera down. We don't put the camera down. Why would you put the camera down? You're watching this. You love photography. You're not going to put the camera down. You've got to obviously learn how to become a better director every single year for the rest of your life. Since she's an actress, I'm going to give you another type of misdirection beyond Hurleyisms. That is another way that is not in a Hurleyisms app, but it's another way that I direct that you haven't seen yet. So I'm going to go back to her picture so you can see the reactions of this. So, Jenny, this is what we're going to do. We're going to act like these headshots have hit the streets.
Okay.
How's that sound? And a year has gone by.
Okay.
And now a year later, you've used my headshots, and now I'm going to treat you like that. So stand, yeah, come on. Come forward a smidge. Yeah, hold that right there. I can't believe you mentioned me in the Oscar speech. I wasn't prepared for that. It was so awesome. And I didn't really get to see the film, but who directed it?
Him.
It was him.
Yeah.
It was him. Are you sure it was him? All right, good. Hold that. Chin down a little bit. He was great. Yeah, and absolutely. And how much did you pull in on it? I heard it was like 17.5.
Billion.
Really? Yeah. That's unbelievable. That's it. Jam the forehead out while you're doing this. Turn the body that way. Who's the male lead? I saw the trailer. I didn't see the whole thing.
The other guy.
It was the other. You're not helping me here. It was Leo. I knew it was Leo, and it must have been Marty that directed you, though. He didn't try and tickle you with his eyebrows, did he? Oh my gosh. Hold that. Are the rumors true between you and Leo? Crush your arms in front. They are. You're not showing. Holy smokes. Hold that nose back to me. Now, whole point of this. No thought. Fun. Not saying turn to your left, turn to your right, smile. None of that. I do this when she's already got the positioning, I've already got good shots, then I can go into something like this and have some fun with it. This is all in the system. I'm still, if you watch, her positioning's key. If I'm not getting the position, it doesn't matter about the crap. Remember, 70% of the stuff I say is crap. The 30% is the important stuff so that they're ready for me to lay the crap on them. And then with actors, I don't actually do this as much as I used to. I used to do it all the time. It's a lot of work. It's like a lot of talking. You're going back and forth. I can get the same shots out of her. If you look through the shots we just got really great laughter. We got really great serious. There is a little bit more range in expression there, which is nice. So I like doing that with this kind of banter. There's something else that I've done over the years I did it a really long time ago. I don't do it as much these days, but I'll bounce it off somebody sometimes just to see how they react. And what I'll do is I'll say a word and I'll say, you just give me that word back into the camera with your face. You ready? All right. Word association. You ready? Look away and come back devious. Try that. That was terrible. You didn't. There we go. Now she's devious. So I'll do some negative reinforcement just to make her laugh, because she actually did do a good devious shot, but I'm just messing, you know. If this lands with somebody, you can make a whole list of words that you feel would be appropriate, that would work for this, all right? So guys, that's 3 simple ways that you can get people to react to you without being flat and not having something to do. It's all stretching your shtick. Build your shtick out the best you can and utilize the Hurleyisms app if you're up for that. If that works for you, if that's a piece of your pie, great. If the words are a piece of your pie, great. If you're shooting actors and you can do a little back and forth with them, that's great too. I definitely think that you should be writing down what it is, how you behave, thinking about your behavior, and thinking about your shtick and what you're adding to it as you go. And having lines or some sort of lines is a great place to start. This is the enchilada. This is the whole deal. This is the whole shebang right here. That moment that you're able to dig into your brain and come up with something that allows that human being to alter their behavior in front of their camera. That's all it's about. You're altering their behavior in front of your camera to benefit the picture that you're taking. That's all it is. I don't care how you do it, how you come up with it, but that's what this is about. You know, the number one question I get, how do you get somebody to relax in front of your camera? You get somebody to relax in front of your camera by having a shtick that's so down pat that they don't even think about themselves. They don't have time. They're with you 100%. And there is no tension because there's no need to relax because they don't even think about the camera. This is my way of getting them off the camera. You have to find yours. And if this works for you, this will go miles. This will change your career and the way you operate with humans. And that's really what it's all about. So figure it out for yourself.